let's we begin. Before I'll talk about this topic, I would like to say thank you that you invite me here for speech. And second, what I would like to say, my English not so perfect. If you don't understand something, this is my translator from English to English. So, or I don't understand.
Boris English to normal.
Yes, my also normal. It's different normals. And what else? As far as I understood when I talked to Hannah, you're interested with part of my life, which, like Kate said, I'm relict, like less and less people who somehow touch themselves Holocaust and everything what happened at this time. But I actually don't want to tell my biography or something, and I would like to show you not exactly only my life, but I think my father-in-law, who is dead, Kate's father, he also Holocaust survivor, and I would like to show that two countries, absolutely different culture, absolutely different intellectual level, absolutely different approach for Jewish question. And you will see that result was almost the same. So, and I would like, before I begin to talk about what happened in Russia, several quickly look what's going in Europe, like Jewish history. Most of you knows, but it's be like interesting way how Jewish came to Russia and what happened there. And maybe after this historical part and the end of my speech, I would like to say also 2-3 words. What's going in world now with Jewish? Because it's my opinion, mass media, for me, it's like looks very strange sometimes and very often. And also people who work, like, for example, human rights, who work for fighting for human rights, or in another things, they are very strange for me. For example, examples I tell very often is Zimbabwe. It's former South Rhodesia, where it was apartheid, and everybody fighting against apartheid to help people for people right. When Rhodesia became independent, what happened? They took everything from white people, throw them away, and it's worse than apartheid. They make country the second most rich country in Africa. Now they like beggar, and nobody tell anything. It's quiet. And seems to me the same situation with Jewish, at least in Europe. So, if you have some question when I speaking, you can interrupt me if it's not long answer, and I answer you with your question. And also, after I'll finish, also you can do what you want. I would like to, sometime, as my wife know, my approach or my opinion is a little bit strange So it's, I'm not pretend is it truth, but it's my opinion. In some situation, I simply want to bring fact, which nobody tell, even if this fact very well known. Or special or not special, I don't know. It could be. So not be shocked if something looks a little bit strange. Okay? So with this preamble, I would like to say that Jewish history all the time very often be in exile, but for different reason. If we look ancient time, this exile happened in Assyria, Babylon, and so. But at this time, this simply was war for like usual war between states or so. And in this war, nobody cared what religion Jewish have, what nation Jewish have. They simply enemy, or this is a community which is good to make slave. That's all. It's regular for anybody else. And you know, they go everywhere. In Egypt, Assyria, Babylon. Finally, if we look, it was before how it's called, before our time. But situation begin a little bit change. And in Alexandria, in the beginning of first century, it's 38 year. It was first Jewish pogrom, which one very famous Russian word, you know what it means. It's because Jewish try to somehow get civil right, like citizen. And after this, Jewish was, and religion in Jewish itself was very popular in Roma's empire. It was more than 10% all. Roma's empire was people who was a Jewish religion. Till then, Judea began to war, which called later by Joseph I forgot his name. Judea's war. In this Judea's war was killed more than 1.1 million Jewish people. Almost 100,000 was in like slave or put them on cross. And very soon, 130, it's Bar Kokhba rebel, which was also 580,000 Jewish was killed. After this time, it's interesting fact, after this time happened several things. It was completely restricted Jewish religion. Jew cannot to be close, even close on distance to Jerusalem. And after this war, Roma's empire didn't take any another country or big city or so. This was like they broke Roma's empire military power. This is a very interesting. I knew many interesting things about Jewish because for a long time, 12 years, I didn't know I'm Jew. And when I knew this, it was a huge shock for me. But I'll tell about this later. Okay. I don't want to talk here about relationship between Jewish people and Islam. This is a very, very interesting topic, but it's a huge topic. And for me, I interested in this relationship very much. And if you, some of you read a book, Chrysanthemum and Sword, this is a author talk about Japan, because in World War II, American doesn't understand what's going in Japan. They didn't understand. This book, Ruth Benedict, and Pentagon asked here to prepare material about what's going. And his book, incredible, interesting, and explain everything what looks like strange. And I understood here that American government or people who goes in war, most of them doesn't understand what's going in Muslim world. And still they don't. I think Barack Obama knows because he studied in Muslim school. But it's a very, very interesting situation. And if you, like me, we can have another topic and talk about this. I'll go ahead and I will talk about Europe. In Europe, I will not tell you dates. If you want, I could. But almost every country, sooner or later, throw Jewish people from state under different circumstances. One of them, when king begin to borrow money and so on, and he need to give money Jewish, he creates some situation and throws them in England, for example. The same situation was in France. But before Crusaders' war, it was actually no pogrom. And it's beginning with first Crusaders, like they go to Palestine and they begin to destroy a Jewish community. Especially terrible situation was in Germany in 13th, 14th century. Even Pope Innocent IV, he say they call bulla. It's like message. And he said that Jew in Germany in so terrible situation, they even, when they was in Egypt, it was heaven for them. Stop it. Even Pope tried to somehow to stop this, like they kill them, put them in fire for different reasons. They say, okay, some sickness come or some another situation. And finally, they was throw them away from Germany. This is a stage that before Germany, Jew was everywhere. England, France, Belgium, in Spain. So finally, most of them was in Germany, and it's impossible to live. And they moved to Polish. And in Polish became very big community. Polish at this time was huge country, Polish and Lithuania together. Very strong. And from beginning, it was normal life. King invite them. And Polish aristocracy called Pany. They evaluate Jewish ability, and many of them make them like manager for their property, big and small, and so they was in more or less normal situation for maybe century. But Polish also has had under, like part of this state was Ukraine and Belarus. Ukraine and Belarus seems to me after 12th century never was like independent state. And Ukraine was Orthodox religion, Polish Catholic. Jewish, you know who. And very often Ukrainian, especially Belarus, like peaceful people, very often they fighting like religion war. They fighting against Catholic, but because Jewish like serve Catholic, they also try to make them the same like Polish. And most terrible situation was in 1593, where Bogdan Khmelnytsky began his war on Ukraine with Polish. This, I talk about terrible situation in Germany, but in Ukraine at this time, even it was Middle Ages when people was not so civilized, but even though people was like terrified, all Europe would make Kazakh and Polish. They kill and torture children, women, everybody. And Jewish, the same like Polish. And they call him like now somebody that worse than Hitler. This is and if you look Ukrainian, for example, literature or culture, one example, like this national hero who came in the city, he was married Polish woman. And when he came to city, they catch this city. And at Catholic school to his son study. And Kazakh bring his son. And he said, okay, tell me, are you Catholic? They said, yes. He killed their both son. And this is a not like example. Okay. This on Russia, it was very few Jewish people for a long time. And even so, after in Peter the Great time, he has Jewish people highest level in Tsar court, because Peter the Great tried to find people who working properly. But after this, his daughter, two daughter, they not long time was they put the Jew also in exile. But very soon, in 17th century, it was three like divide Polish countries. This Germany, like Prussia, Austria, and Russia, they divide Polish for 3 times in different way. And finally, 3rd time, big part of Polish became Russian. And together with this land, Russia inherited huge amount of Jew. They don't know what to do. This time was Ekaterina the Great, Tsarina. And finally, a decision that Jew could live in 6 called gubernia. It's like district big, 6 gubernia. This is became Paul famous. Huh?
The Pale of Settlement.
The Pale, yes. Jew could live only in this area and never more. Jew cannot to have land. Jew cannot to be a farmer. Jew cannot to be produce anything to sell in big city or somewhere else. Jew cannot to do almost anything, full restriction. Jew cannot to study in the university, in school called gymnasium, very limited amount. So this is a life, because they cannot to live even in this Ukrainian village. So that's why it became Jewish shtetl. They live in small own villages in shtetl. And mostly they produce something for themselves, for Jewish. With time, like Tevye produce milk and brings somebody or so. That's what a life. Of course, nobody like this. I mean from Jewish. And slowly but surely they educate, because part of them could go like in French or some another, and they came back. So they want to change this situation. And when in 1970 Bolshevik make revolution, Jewish was so enthusiastically came and helped this revolution. Many Jewish was in Communist Party. Many Jewish was, they call like special committee from beginning, which with time became KGB. A lot of Jew was there. And in another place, they believe their life change, and this life not simply change, but they be equal like everybody else. Now I came to point that I tell 2 stories, which later became one again. One story, after a revolution, as you know, they took Tsar family and put them behind Ural, Ekaterinburg, and kill all the family. But family, not too much from court came with this family. Most court was in St. Petersburg. Among them, was one young lady who is frailing, and
You mean noble woman?
noble woman, yes. But frailing, it's who served directly for Tsarin. That's next look. And she realized that situation very dangerous, and she married her landscaper to be worked family. She did it. It's only beginning like 17, 18, 1980, and so. And situation became worse and worse. Everything like many band begin civil war and so war. And Lenin create this special committee, like for special terrible situation. They could do anything they want. And more people who didn't escape from rich people or aristocracy, they was killed. And this lady understands she cannot to survive here. So she moved from St. Petersburg to Ukraine, and in Ukraine was place called Donbass area. It's like Ruhr in Germany, some kind. More or less industrial, a lot of coal, metal factory, and so on. And she moved there. This is an area where always need people, and nobody look who you are there. She came in this area, and between two small miners' city, like 7 miles field, and small pond, and she built one house, and she lived here with her husband. Mom said that her husband always slept next to the door, and she, of course, slept in the bed. And people around, everybody knew her. She knew many languages, and simply her character was like this, and they call her Boyarinya. Boyare, it was highest level noble, but after Peter the Great, he eliminated this name, but they call that's higher level. So this is a one part. Part number 2. My father was the same enthusiast like any Jew in Russia, and this civil war goes to the end, and government begin to invite people to help to rebuild some country, because everything destroyed in the country. People dying from starvation. 10 millions in next Volga River dead because international community tried to give food to these people, and Lenin and communists said, no, give everything to us, and we bring this food to people. International community knows they didn't bring. So, and 10 million people dead. And again, it's no engineer, it's country lied down. It's worse than Middle Ages. But everybody waiting for good future, and many people believe in this and was very enthusiastic. And when my father knew this, they decided to came in this area for rebuild mines and help beloved Communist Party. He came, and there was only one family in this small city, Jewish family, I mean. From beginning, he worked a little bit in a mine, Mine? And this time in Russia was program to teach adult people read everything from scratch, because most of them didn't know. Because Jewish guys, they have ability to read Torah. So my father go and study a little bit, and maybe in 2 years or so he began to be store director, and he met my mom there, and they married, and came 1939. My father's name was actually Israel first. 1939, if you know history, it's Russia tried to catch Finland. Finland is a small, and before revolution it was part Russian Empire. But after revolution, Lenin said, everybody who want to make own state, please. So it was state. So Russian big army go to Finland. And my father, as mother said later, stupid guy, he goes volunteer on this war. On this war, it's unexpectedly hard for Russia, because it's Finland, not big country, not big army, but they new country, they good skiing, and they, most of them was snipers, and they kill a lot of Russian. And my father make friendship there with one guy whose name was Michael. And they make like agreement, if happens that one of them be killed and another survive, that he changed name, that even this die guy, but his name living. It was romantic time at this time. It's unusual time, you know. In Russia, many enthusiasts make very interesting experiment and so. So my father was survived, and Michael was killed, and when he came back, he changed his name, and that's why when I'm born, I became Mikhailovich, Boris Mikhailovich. In Russia, the second part, it's father's name. I was born in December 4th, 1940. In 1941, begin Second World War in Russia, because they begin actually with together Russian and Germany take Polish apart. And if say a little bit like analytically, I like change my mind several times. First, Russian official history said, oh, we are good, Germany begin World War II, blah, blah, blah. But it's not completely true, because many Germany Gestapo study in Russian KGB. All ideology was very close. So they have contact. I think, oh, this is a Russia and Germany was bad. Finally, when I begin to Russia, of course, official history said quite differently. When I begin to read Churchill books, I realize everybody good, because Russia want to be aligned with England, with Great Britain and France. And they don't want Russia. And they try to push Hitler to catch Russia. And Russia has no choice. So, because they don't want Russia, they turn and became Hitler alien and take Polish. You know the situation. All countries put their own part to begin World War II. And especially Churchill to tell terrible about München, how to say, decision or what. When England and French make peace with Hitler, and later they documents say if they didn't do this, Hitler was scary to take Austria, to take Polish. This country, England and French politic, give chance to Hitler to begin this war. So, I would like to say also now one thing. All the time Jewish people go in exile. And before World War II began, situation in Germany became worse and worse and worse. Jewish organization understand this. They try to do something, but it was not very successful. And the worst situation came when in 1938, seems to me, in 1938, President Roosevelt, yes, from 5 to 16 July, Roosevelt initiative, they invite and create called Avians Conference about Jewish problem. And in this conference was 38 countries. They not invite any representative for people who in exile or from Jew. They didn't invite any international organization which have connection with people who not only Jew, but in exile for some reason, and Jew also. Nobody, only this country and one representative called Liga Nazi. In this conference, nobody said they give place for Jew if they leave Germany, except Dominican Republic dictator. He said, I'll give. And the matter of fact, this United States create Holocaust together with Hitler. Russia also helped because before end of 1935, Hitler said to Russia, if you want, took our Jew and put in Russia, they have autonomous Jewish Republic on the north of Russia. Stalin said no. So this international community create all this situation. Chaim Weizmann, first Jewish state president, he said, war divide for two pieces. One piece, they don't want country who doesn't want to have Jew inside. And second piece, country which doesn't want to give them permission to come. That's what situation was. After a short time, it was conference, Bermuda conference, this England and United States, and they also did nothing. And For example, as a result, I would like to say, you know story, this ship St. Louis, who people on this St. Louis, 930 Jew from Hamburg to Cuba. They have visas, they have tickets, they have insurance, they have everything. More than 400 women and children. When they came to Cuba, they don't give them permission to land. When they came to United States, they don't give them permission to land. In our synagogue in Boston, it was a woman who was child on this ship. This is the situation. So everybody put their own piece to create Holocaust. Okay, war began, and my father, government took him in 1941 to close like November or so to army, and he go to army. My aunt, yes, lady, she escaped to Uzbekistan, and everybody else stay here. Everybody else was killed. And when Germany came to this small city, my mom, they immediately make announcement, all Jew must be registered. If no, you will be shot. And my mom was ready to be killed closest days, because it's only one family and everybody knows us. And this night, this lady who lived there, she came to us and told to my mom, take your baby and let's go with me. My mom took me and go with this lady, and lady put us in root cellar. When I said root cellar to Kate, she imagined here root cellar, but recently we were in Ukraine, and I show here, this is a root cellar. It's like hole, 2 meter 2 inside, and there are some vegetable. And we were there for 2 years. I didn't remember, of course, but I remember like sound like airplane and earth. And it was for a long time my nightmare, maybe 14 or something years. I remember I was about 3 years how Russian army came. My mom kept me on hand and soldier coming, and I saw some guy who goes and his shirt looks like white. It's maybe he washed too much. And I said, Mom, you said Red Army come, but it's a white? And he hears this and took me, I don't know he said, we are red from our blood, blah, 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 blah. But for me, it's absolutely nothing. Yes, and of course, this lady saved our life, and my mom goes, she became old enough, and my mom tried to help here. And my mom was so afraid from all of this that she didn't tell me that we are Jew when I'm growing. And I didn't know this till that my aunt, who was in Uzbekistan, she came back, and it was service which helped to find people, each other after this war. My father was killed in 1943 under Kharkov. It's a big city. It was killed from Russian army, more than 1 million people there. And this my mom, my aunt, and me. I was there this time 12 years old or so. And I go there, and this is the first time I realize that I'm Jewish. Before I came there several times, I was close to death because everything was destroyed, no food, people dying on the street. I was like 46, 7, 5 even begin, 8, 50 to 52 maybe or 3. I was like a portrait in African people who is children with small bone, and my stomach begin to grow, and it's like sign that I should die very soon. But this time, our ally American, they help Russia and help with different way, and particularly with food also. They give government something, and government decide who will have this. Because this area was very important for country, they put part of food on this, and my mom got like this can of bacon. So my mom took one, cut for 3, and give me one. That's I survive from this bacon. We children, we go and hunting for bird with special boy's tool. We try to find some roots, and when spring come and something green coming, we like relieve, we survive this year. It was several years like this. It's only one things what can eat. When I came to my aunt, it was very famous Jewish place, not too big but famous, called Zhmerenka. I found children, Jewish children. She explained me this and this and this, but what I would like to say, I couldn't understand now more that I live with people on this area, and this area was less anti-Semitic than any area in Ukraine, because from all Russia people was here. But even though this is like in joke, in opinion, it's like not specially, but this anti-Semitic in the air. Ukraine, it's maybe most anti-Semitic country in former Russia. And when I realize I'm Jew, I'm like this, I'm shocked, I don't know what to do. And I begin to try to find like different kind of information, official and not official. And I find out many things which, for example, I don't like. For example, in Crimea, there are Crim Tatar. When Germany took Crimea, they begin to kill, not Germany begin to kill. Usually Germany kill very few, because they always find somebody inside country. For example, in Lithuania, before Jewish army came, they kill almost all Jew. And when I live in Boston, I met a guy whose family was on a train, and this train came to this city, and he took like some can go, at this time you can take on station hot water. He go to take this hot water, he came with hot water next to this wagon, all his family was killed. He was in, he worked like make massage in Russian steam bath. He told me this story. And also, I find out story, another story. In Crimea, as I said, this is a different. When Tatar begin to kill Jewish, they put in Crimea, they like vertical, many vertical caves. Usually this like this, and in Crimea like this. And they bring them to this cave, and they took their children and put in this cave, and after this they throw father and mother. But in Crimea also live, if you know this name, Karaime. You know who Karaime? No. It was Khazar Khaganate. You know Khazare. Khazare, it was in ancient time a nomad who took Jewish religion. And this they was very famous and very big. Even now, they disappeared, but even now there's a book about them. But only noble and some lower to Judaism. Simple people know. When cross marriage, when mom Jew, it's okay, he's Jew, okay? In father Jew, and mother not. Jewish religion says he's not Jew. Khazar religion said he's not Khazar. He's nothing, he has no right. So people like this, they try to escape, and they, a lot of in Crimea, this is Karaim, they have synagogue, they was very famous guy. Many knyaz took them like a guard. I was in one place in Lithuania where is a like Catholic church, Jewish synagogue, Karaim synagogue, and some Muslim with this all together. This Karaim, before war began, Hitler asked Jewish religion guy if Karaim Jew or no. And Jewish, this rabbi, they understand question. The situation was quite clear. And they said, it's not one, several. They said, no, they are not Jew. So Germany not try to do something with Karaim, but Tatar who live here, they do with them the same like with Jew. And when they try to do this with Karaim, many Karaim, they running and took some of Tatar and jumped together in this cave. This quite different behavior. I don't like this. But another I like, because when I begin to look Russian military history, Jew was third place with medal, special like hero, and so and so and so. And this is even though that Stalin tell that restrict as much as possible to give this Jew some medal or order or another one. And I read story with a guy who, a pilot, if you hit like 20 airplane, you automatically became hero. This Jew guy, 60 airplane, nobody give him hero, until that his friend in this, they begin to like fighting with commander, and they give him hero. So in also and also situation in another, like twice hero in tank commander, big division. Many Jew was big hero. But if we look situation, you know, oh, time going very quickly. I almost have no time to tell about my father-in-law, which
You have another hour. If the
if you interested, I can a little bit tell more. If no, I can stop anytime.
8:30 actually.
My father-in-law, he lived absolutely in another situation. If we look history, Hungarian was part of Austro-Hungarian Empire. In Austro-Hungarian Empire, as a matter of fact, in Russia also some kind, not exactly, but in but in Austro-Hungarian Empire, many Jew was good educated. And if you convert from Jewish religion, everything open. You can be any business, any official guy, really, because some movie show it's in reality it's not exactly like this. But in business, yes. And my father-in-law family was rich enough, and they became banker. Yes, yes, and live very good. Situation in Hungary from beginning of war was more or less okay, because Hungary was Germany ally. And Hungarian dictator, Katya, what I forgot name. Okay, it doesn't matter. He tried to save all citizens, and he didn't do anything for Jew till in 1944.
Admiral Horthy.
Yes, Horthy. Yes, yes. 1994. That's they decide. Germany decide. It's they cannot to believe this admiral, and Germany army came and occupied Hungary also. When they occupied Hungary, they immediately begin to work with Jew, and most Hungarian Jew was killed, as far as you know. And what happened here? They put everybody in Heta, and including my father-in-law family. But mom, people understand it's 1944, so everybody knows what going with Jew, everybody knows what happened. So somehow she helped my father-in-law named George, help him escape. And he escaped and he go. He doesn't know where to go, what to do, so he goes to ghetto. And in ghetto, two German soldiers met him. And two German soldiers, somehow they talk, I don't know why, they said, okay, you will help us. They took him, and what they doing, they go through the ghetto and look who dead on the street. Because Germany try to not make like epidemic, because it could be problem for Germany army, for everything. So they try to some sanitation, and he helped them, and they took him like a helper. They give him some food, but one time when they goes through this ghetto, and men sit like this, and when they come, took, and this is a George grandfather. Who?
His father.
Father. Yes, father. And George began to cry, and they immediately understand what problem. And one of them took him and say, go with me. They came somewhere far, and he said, my mother is a Jew also. Run away that I didn't see you anymore. So he ran somewhere, I don't know where. After some time, he cannot to find place, and he came to ghetto again. And this time, Germany came and began to took all the people, you know, from Hungary, this Oswiecim, or Auschwitz, yes. This is especially for Hungarian, most was there. They took everything, they put them in column and go to this station, there is wagon and go. And George tell they go through Budapest. And people from both sides stay. It's not many soldiers, one there, one somewhere, because people like lost ability to fight back. And George said, I understood everything what's going, and I decided to die here. And he said, I go this, and I turned and slowly, not run, I go to in this crowd who inside, and I feel now this bullet in my back. And he succeed. After this, he again became alone. And he remember one lady, his family knew here. And he goes to here. And she took him, he lived several days in her apartment. And her name, Elaborate. After this, they moved him in some village or so, and this lady, saved more than 300 Jews. Of course, he tell me many another story. I would like to say situation doesn't matter. This country quite different than this situation with Jews, the same, a little bit different. Nothing changed. And if I look now, what's going? Yes, it was terrible. Word looks like say sorry and blah 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 blah. I look some information like 2012 in some country. What I would like to say, yes, I would like to say one interesting example which everybody maybe knows. I saw in some small movie, in book, and even in our synagogue, they talk that in war time in Denmark, when Germany said to put David Star for all Jew, king put David Star, and all Denmark guys help Jewish people escape in Sweden. It's true. I don't know about David star mark on the king, but Denmark people really help Jew to go to Sweden by boats. But nobody said that for payment, they, as a matter of fact, took everything from Jew, all money or property and so on. Nobody said that. And when I said in our synagogue, when guy talk about this, he said, but they can take everything and kill them. Of course they could. But we should know truth. That's how people look at a Jew. When I, for example, in Russia, I was mountain climber. And one time we were in Tajikistan, was mountain, it's very high, it's in Kishlak. And we came there, and another guy was a Jew. And somebody said that Jew among us too. All Kishlak came to look. Nobody see, but everybody knows this is something strange. They came to, and they look, and they don't believe this is a Jew looks like anybody else. What I see in Europe, yes, I would like to remind also real people who help Jew without thinking have something from this. One of them is Raoul Wallenberg. You know this name, Raoul Wallenberg. He is a Swedish foreign ministry diplomat. He was in Hungary at this time in 1944. He gave on different way Sweden document to 20,000 Jewish people. He saved 20,000 people. When Russian army came and he became on Russian occupied territory, they took him secretly, put in prison. He disappeared, and only maybe in 70 or 80 they found people who was with him in prison, and they killed him. Another. In Norway, they saved 930 Jewish people from about 2,000. American journalist Custer, he saved more than 1,086 people. He paid all money he had, huge amount. Okay. And I would like to say, for everything what's going, with all terrible thing, when country begin to say sorry and somebody begin to take Jew, for all war and this Holocaust, Canada give permission only 1,000 people for all time. This country who has no place to live. Now, let's look what's going now. Now, Norway, which saved, as I said, 930 people. I talk about this all my date, 2012. In 2012, in Norway, they live 890 persons, and they was ready to immigrate because it's impossible to live there. For Jew, yes. As you know, time by time, I don't know if you, I don't know here, but because I can read information for example, I can easily read Russian, Ukrainian, I can read Polish, and another a little bit thing. And I interested in this question. I have a little bit more information. I know a little bit more than you could know in America, because in America this is a not interesting topic usually. But as you can see on regular basis, in France, or beaten, or killed, or even school children, these Jewish people, this is a situation in France on regular basis. And Israel working to give French Jew place to live in Israel. Situation in Italy very close to French. In Holland, political socialism go to demonstration with Muslim people, which openly they ask to kill all Jew in country. What you can wait? Hungary. We know because still Kate has a relative there, and we know it's terrible anti-Semitism in Hungary. All this country, or most of them, European Union member. All they know, and situation go slowly but surely. In England, in 1993, when I came to the United States, was 340,000 Jews. In 2012, less than 230,000. Huh? So slowly, Europe became clean from Jew again. That's what situation. And let's look United States. Yes, United States, it's the best country after Israel for Jew. But Kalispell is here, and in our synagogue, we have several years in row, 30, yes, Katya, that we can, teacher study like part of history with native, with Indian and Jewish people. What, like, come on in history, what's different, and so it's very interesting. Why they study here? Most of them, at least first, from Kalispell, because in Kalispell they afraid to do this. I couldn't believe. And when we travel, for example, with Kate, we sold our home and we travel like this through the United States. And in one place we were in New Mexico, yes? In New Mexico. It's a very good, nice people, very smart. They educated, they have collection, music, books, and so and so. And we talk, they love us. And in any, they know we are Jew. But when we talk with them, this especially husband, he said, you know, I wasn't anti-Semite at the Bush time, but I more and more think it's a Jewish bring big donation in so terrible situation. And he, time by time, like, you know, I said, I even joke, I said, hey, now better Jewish leaving you. He said, no, we love you, we continue to have contact, Sometimes this is beyond any logic, beyond anything. And I know that need a little bit trigger and anti-Semitism like here. And I have a friend of mine, and he has a wife. His wife, very smart, very educated, and it's happened that one lady who is department manager in oncology institute, it's a long time ago, she immigrated. This lady named Luda, she came and said, you know, I'm here that she, before she leaves, she said, I'm never tell a real diagnosis for not Jew people. It's, you know, it's terrible how its department manager can be in such a huge institute. It's impossible. It's beyond imagination. This lady, educated, smart, she tells this. This is a.
Did she tell it to?
Huh?
She didn't give the right diagnosis?
Yes, she said, this lady who left, before she left, she said, I'm never make right diagnosis for not Jew. But it's false. But this lady believe in this false. So, and also, for example, in Ukraine or everywhere, you cannot you cannot to be half Jew, you can be quarter Jew, you can be any. If they want to do something bad for you, they said, oh, here's some ancestor was Jew. So many plays automatically close to you. This is a country now. They kill several people on the street because they are from scholar in this Orthodox Jew. In Kiev, in the center of the street. So, what I would like to say, I read about many pogrom in former Ukraine. It was mostly Ukraine and Moldavia. And Jew wasn't always like stay and wait. They make some self-defense people, and they successfully fighting back. Even that government tried to help this pogrom. My point is, this is a good situation in America. We live very well, but we should be together. And we should remember we are Jew. And in hard situation, we can help each other. And we also, I have nothing with any politician or another organization. But what I know, I know much more than I said now. It's make me strongly to be sure that in hard case, Israel, it's one place when we can be sure. I tell one story about my beloved writer who is from Russia, but he live in Jerusalem, and he very often go tournee all the world, and he tells stories that one time when he was in United States, after performance, usually he goes to some friend, family, and people come, as usually, drink, talk, try, and he said one time, it's happened that I came, and we drink, we begin to talk about Russia, and one guy said, when I was in Russia, there's two things usually in Russia. Mom said, you, if you want to be equal, you must be 2 hands higher than anybody else. Only this, you be equal. Look, Russian culture. Very famous violinist, very famous pianist, very famous in music everywhere. Most literature, famous Russian, 90% Jew. In many places, in medicine, in everywhere. Why? Because in a Russian family, they always push children worked terrible hard. One. Second, they said, don't do this. You're not home. Don't be too active. Don't show what you. And this time when he was there, some of this guy said, like, remember that my mom said, don't do this, you are not home, and everybody laughing. And this writer said, and I asked them, are you at home here? And everybody stopped laughing. And he said, better I will pook. I feel much better because this situation. So I'm not tell this that make you feel bad. I don't tell because my wife very often think I'm pessimistic. No, I'm very optimistic. I think we should know our history, but we shouldn't live in our history. We should simply for our knowledge that we know how to do in future. And no real situation in the world and around us. Because if we don't know, let's say, train schedule, we can be under train. So we should know when we should cross railway or so. We should be with open eyes. But in any case, I think that Hillel and our synagogue and another people, we should be together here. And remember that we are Jew. We are not bad. It's, if we look how many Nobel laureates among, how many Jew among Nobel laureate and another famous people, huge percent. More than any another nation. So we should be proud who we are. We should love everybody, but we should keep in mind what could happen. This is a never pass from our life. That's all I would like to say. If you have question, please. I'm finished. Yes.
How and where did you and Kate meet?
This I give Kate chance to tell because she loved this history. Okay, I can say. I came to the United States for two reasons. When perestroika began and Ukraine became independent, economy absolutely destroyed, no any connection, problem with food. My children, for 1 year, I go to Siberia to work, where it's a much more payment. For 1 year, I could buy for my children for all year 1 banana, but it's not worse. At this time happened Chernobyl. You know Chernobyl. And Chernobyl only 40 miles from Kiev. And my son was born 1 year before Chernobyl happened. He began to be sick because all destroyed and situation terrible. Who create this? Of course, Jew. Because, for example, in Polish, after World War II, two steps. First, immediately after World War II, they throw big amount of Jew. And second, in 61, 62, all another Jew they throw from Polish. In Polish, maybe now, not more than 60 Jew. It was one of the most Jewish countries. If something happened in Polish now, they continue to talk about Jew who did this and this and this, and and Jewish ambassador make a speech and say, hey, enough, no Jew here. It's the same in Ukraine. Anti-Semitism goes up on highway, big poster, how it's called, cake or kike, or how it's America. Go away from Ukraine and so, and it's not simply this. I was when I was in Russian army, I was in special forces in parachute division. So I could do something, but even though, if you alone, you cannot to find many people. I was beaten several times, one time in my apartment, and when there came several guys, and my son became to cry, they schmuck him, he has scar here. So, and also became a terrible situation with his health. He was born very strong, and he became more and more sick. Each week, temperature higher, and when I began like blood for 2-3 days after this, longer. Second, I couldn't leave country because my former wife, I was divorced many years before. She didn't give me permission, and Ukrainian law didn't give me chance to leave. And finally I said, you see, he's dying. I don't try to go alone. I try to save children. Finally she said, okay. And I didn't have time to work, like paperwork. So this time American embassy stopped to give visa, any visas. But before, a friend of mine who live in Chicago, he invited me 2 years before. He worked for me in my apartment, and we was good friend, department. And he sent me invitation. I didn't go, but this, when she said, okay, I go to embassy, and this time you come, fill out application, and 1 hour go, they talk to you and say goodbye, come in 6 months. Most people are waiting, they come and tell a result. I think that's come. So I put everything, came there. She began to talk to me, and I said, you know, I don't think I will stay in the United States. You see, I have 2 years ago invitation. I didn't go in the United States, and it was good lady. I saw she want to help me, but not somebody blame here that she give me visa. And she asked me how much you earn. I can say anything I want. She cannot to check. She asked if somebody, I have some relative. I said yes. And she said, okay, wait. For half an hour. I came and wait. They came, give me passport, and I'm divorced, and I go with child. I'm very lucky. I was lucky in many issues. So this visa for half a year. I came here, and I didn't know English, with zero almost. I did have money. I came in next day after my birthday, December 5. I have one cousin which, the matter of fact, did help me. I begin to try to shoveling snow. December, I begin to teach Russian children math because I'm a mathematician. I work in Science Institute. I did everything. And I try to fix houses or basement or something else, and people give me place to live and food. When I finish, I move in another. I came in Newton. I try to be in Newton that son go in the same school. I only change address and bus pick him up.
Newton is a suburb of Boston.
Suburb of Boston. Finally, I was in one family who has 2 children, and I painting house for them, and they was very good with me, and lady make many announcement and put there in English, and one of them she put in synagogue where Kate was a member, and Kate helped another Russian family who came, Russian Jewish I mean, who came from St. Petersburg at this time, so she had some experience. And it's happened that at this time, one time Kate called and said, okay, I can. Kate wasn't married, she was 40 years, now I tell like she explained situation. And she decides she will not marry, she will help somebody, she will live alone, care about garden and blah, blah, blah. And one time she called this lady and invite us, but she was vegetarian. And Nick need eat something. He is like this. He was hungry. We live in one family, and like lady in like Harvard professor, and lady make like chicken legs and turkeys, because that's people come, they play like some concert of cameras, music, symphony music. That's many people. But before people came, she put Nick to eat, and Nick 1, 3 from chicken, from turkey, from another, and she looked at him, and she couldn't believe, and his eyes like, you know, Romans to be drunk, they ate a lot, you know, and he's like this Roman, his eyes like this, but he continued. When we go to walk, and we came to like hamburger. He took hamburger in 10 minutes. He said, I'm hungry. I will take another hamburger. So first time I said, no, not vegetarian. But it's happened that I live in one Christian family, and man there not like me, and he didn't want that Jew be in family in Christmas time. So I was like on the street in this time. It was many adventure, but I'm sure. And this time I don't remember, or Rachel said you call, or I ask Rachel, but somehow we connect with Kate. We came, Kate has house, and we came at this house, and we talk, and Kate said, okay, you need to fix this bathroom, and for 3 months. I didn't have work permission. That's another issue. That's I go from one to another and try. I work that one time I go on bicycle behind Nick, and I fell down. And on the bicycle, I'm from my childhood. I was terribly exhausted. And we decided that we can live 3 months? 3 months. Fixed a little bit basement, bathroom, so I begin to fix the bathroom. And I continue to fix the bathroom and continue and continue. And finally, very soon, we didn't understand each other, and we begin to little bit live together, but we didn't marry. And one time I drove Kate, and I was a little bit afraid. My first marriage was terrible. Kate think I don't want to marry here, but I did. And sometimes she said, yes, okay, I drove. We live, but we can live like this. Of course, I want to be married somehow, but maybe you don't want. I said, what, Kate? I think you don't want. Stop car. So we quickly married, and we have good family. It's 18 years. 18 years. A boy, I was terrible afraid because he was sick each week, terrible. When we came here, for 1 year, he wasn't sick. And I was terribly afraid. I don't know what to do. I don't know whom to ask, because usually when people immigrate, they have some group of people, some organization. I go in some organization. In Jewish organizations, they don't want to help me. They said, if we put this on the international level or something like this, make big deal with this, you know? And what I would like to say, yes, with Kate, yes, Nick, I talk about Nick. And this time somebody said, if you can go and ask free care. I go to Franciscan Children's Hospital and ask about free care. I explain everything. They give me for 3 months free care and said, hey, tomorrow you can come and blood test for Nick. Tomorrow morning, Nick was terrible sick. You know, it's like in a book. I said, tell somebody. They said, oh, this is like outdoor, very doing like STEM. But finally, Kate cared about him very much, and he's growing successfully. He graduated from college several months before 20. He worked for union in Portland, Oregon, and after this he was on business trip in Denver, and they invite him to be leader. He worked like a leader, and after several years he took exam, how it's called test? LSAT. He got 99.6 in this test, and Minneapolis University, it's a good low rating, and especially in labor law. So they give him a scholarship, and he, all these 3 years, he had scholarship. This year he graduated, how it's Katya called, his diploma.
A regular lawyer.
No. This with this.
Oh, magna cum laude?
Yes.
Oh, and then he passed the bar.
He passed a bar. He not took a class. He studied himself to save money. So yes, he is very good. He is tall. So when he came here, some of you should catch him. It's time to him. He is 29 years old. Time to make family. Maybe I hope he visit us in huh?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yes, but he was here. He was here not long ago. So it's like American happy story. Yep. And many people, yes, I would like to say I was very lucky. First with Kate. Second, I with my language, even now it's not perfect, but I got great job. I couldn't work as a mathematician because I work in economy and it's must have a good language. But my side skills with computer, I got job first. First I got job in construction company, small, and I worked for a year. And fortunately, construction company went out of business because one owner has old parents in another state. He left, and I took in university some class with English, and I got job in Beth Israel Hospital first as my position called system designer. System designer, I work with computer, but not computer system, but system which medicine system. And I work with computer all the time, and with doctor also. I work very close to research department, and after this, with 2 or 3 years, I work in partners. Also, healthcare, it's the biggest employer partners. And I even have article in New England Journal of Medicine, so I think I'm very successful, and I have good wife, and I have a grandchild, unusually beautiful girl.
Because he has a daughter also.
Yes, yes.
He does not have any children.
Yes, I couldn't took 2 children without any status, no work permission, no, and daughter was, daughter also, he graduated from medical. She worked as a doctor. After this, she orthopeds, and after this she moved to sometime work for French pharmaceutical company, and now she responsible for training in biggest Ukrainian pharmaceutical company. She's good. So everything good, and I'm still alive. Also good. And I asked Hannah to put here vodka, but she didn't. That I can sometime keep my emotion on good level. Okay, that's what I would like to say. If you want to hear me again, I actually very like, if you read book a little bit Chrysanthema and Sword.
The chrysanthemum and the sword.
Yes, it's author who Ruth Benedict. And we could, I'm sure each of you like this book. It's unusual book. And we can talk about its interesting, not simply relationship, but about Islam and what's going in the world. And I realize they are not evil, but it's a very dangerous situation for world, because they're not evil, they live in another world. The same like Japan in time in the war with the United States. If you read this book, it will be much more helpful to understand what I'm talking about. I have 3 Quran in Russian language, different translation, and Bible, of course, and I interesting in this area. Not only religion, but more widely kind of spiritual and what's going in the world in reality. It's hard to say, but I try to be as close as I could. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you like somehow.